all this
brother.
other stuff yet. I gotta learn how to get in.
Amen,
That's
brother.
hilarious. I had to figure out how to minimize mine earlier so I could read the meeting notes, which you would think would be an easy task, but for some reason, Zoom does not like me very much.
There. That's a little better, right?
Aw, there he goes. Reporting from the Caro Municipal Building.
Where's Bob?
I'm here yet.
He's in the ribbon room.
I am.
No, Don, I mean, Don.
I don't know where Don's at. I was just gonna ask that too.
He's probably still painting at the Blue House.
Did he forget about us?
I don't know.
He may have.
We're a pretty hard group to forget, but maybe he did.
Yeah, he might have.
Now that we don't get our packets hand delivered to us, it's kind of easy to forget.
I know. I know.
I had to force myself to remember. I'm like, oh, hey, I should probably open an email or something. Oops. I do have a computer for a reason. Oh, yeah.
We'll see if I can raise him up here a little bit.
I think you're both calling them.
Look at the two phones. Tag team.
Yeah, are you on?
Well, that one just went to voicemail.
Because Joe's calling him
Okay.
too.
Okay. As long as somebody's got him going.
Did you find him, Joe?
Yeah, he's getting on. He had a guest he was taking care of.
He's always got an excuse.
Must have
Right.
worked.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
He likes to be that fashionably late type, you know.
Mm-hmm. I should go back to sitting at my kitchen or my dining room table because sitting in the recliner is too comfortable.
You hear snoring, then we know what you're doing, right?
It
was
could
boring, right?
happen. Thankfully, we have a short agenda. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Tish decided we were boring. She's got to sleep on us.
Well, my chair is very comfortable and my fireplace is crackling, so it doesn't get any better than this.
That's true. I like the fireplace idea.
Yep, me too.
And I just pulled my apple pie out of the oven.
Well, that
Uh-oh.
sounds pretty darn good too.
Uh-oh.
I guess I could have stayed up north and had the fire going.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
Although all this maize and blue in the background, I might have to hide that. Sorry, Joe.
The way they played Saturday.
The way they've been playing, period.
They had a good first game and then
Or State got whomped too with it from Ohio State. But his basketball team beating Duke the other last week was good. For the first time ever down there at Duke to beat them.
wow.
Wow.
All right, looks like we got Don here. Looks like we got everyone.
Okay, let's call this meeting to
7:31.
order with the pledge. I pledge
Pledge
allegiance to
allegiance
the
to the
flag
flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. The next item is the agenda approval. Are there any additions?
The Parks and Rec Committee would like me to give you a report. Maybe I could get added to the liaison reports.
Okay, put that as number 2.
Okay.
Any additions?
No, I don't have any.
Entertain a motion?
Make the motion to accept the agenda as read
I'll support.
With the
Got motions?
addition,
with the one addition
Addition.
of Parks and Rec.
Okay,
Sorry,
Sarah,
Sarah.
whenever you're ready.
Botchke,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Eschenbacher,
Yep.
Hall,
Yes.
Jones Hollebeck,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Mayor Green.
Yes, motion carried. Are there any public comments from the visitors?
I do have a written public comment to read aloud.
Okay,
This is from Andrew and Brittany Heiser. Dear Caro City Council, we would like to propose that the city of Caro changes its current ordinance prohibiting recreational marijuana licenses. Recreational marijuana allows for any person 21 and up to legally purchase marijuana. The recreational sales of marijuana has a 10% excise tax and a 6% sales tax. The excise tax revenue goes to the local governments, schools, and roads. From December 2019 to July 2020, the state of Michigan's recreational sales generated nearly 35 million in excise and sales tax revenues. This is huge. And after the year we have all had, along with schools being closed in person, we really think this small community could use the extra boost in revenue. It is understandable that people may have concerns about marijuana sales on main streets or in downtown areas, which is why we purchased a building in the industrial park to start our current medical marijuana business. We feel we have a perfect location to allow recreational sales to go alongside with our medical sales for this community. It is off the main streets in a safe, secure area. It is required by the state that a new license needs to be applied for in addition to the local municipalities opting in on recreational sales. The licensing is a 3-step process, first being another application through the city of Caro, and then the 2-step process similar to the medical license through the state. So this is just an open your doors and allow it to happen. This, along with medical side of the stores, are both strictly watched and ran by the state. After speaking with our Lara enforcement officer, he highly encouraged us to push for recreational so we can survive and compete. He has 80 marijuana businesses he works with in the state, and he said sales are 70% recreational and 30% medicinal. Our intentions of opening this new business was to stay local and in doing so, create more jobs and revenue for the Caro area. Without having recreational sales, people are passing by us and still going to surrounding areas such as Lapeer, Vassar, and Bay City to spend their money. We would love for them to be able to keep their business. We would love them to be able to keep their business local, and in turn, we would be able to create more jobs and tax revenue for our area. Most people that visit our business have already assumed that we are recreational because it was passed at the state level. They do not understand there are separate licenses for medical and recreational. Since most municipalities that allow medical license also allow recreational licenses, we are hoping that the city of Caro allows us to do the same so we can survive. We have turned away businesses from an average of 50% to 60% of our new customers weekly because they do not hold a medical marijuana card. This creates a worrisome environment for us. We do not know if we will be able to continue doing business with the remarkably high costs of regulation and licensing. Sorry, we are unable to attend the meeting in person to present this in person. My wife and I are both working 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week, trying to keep our labor costs lower until businesses pick up. If there are any questions or concerns, we are more than willing to set up a time and a date to go over any additional information that is needed. As always, thank you for your time and support through this entire process. We greatly appreciate it. Andrew and Brittany Heiser.
thank you. Are there any additional public comments? See anybody else, Sarah?
I do not see any hands raised.
Okay. Let's move on to communications, zoning board of appeals minutes, December 1st, 2020, unapproved. Consent agenda, regular council minutes, November 23rd, and then invoices. Are there any questions or comments on them?
I had an invoice question. let me get there. Sorry. What is Revitalize LLC?
They are our grant administrators for the farmer's market. The state pays us directly for their services, so.
Where they are the contract with grant administrators.
Yes,
And Sarah, back to invoices again. What do we pay Martin Electric almost $40,000 for?
I was gonna ask.
Generators.
other portion of the generators.
This is another portion of the generators?
It's
Yep, so-
95,000 total.
Yep, and we've already paid 40 something, so this is another 40,000 towards that.
So what you're saying is we probably owe them just about 10 grand left?
Yep,
And the DEQ?
That's for a sewer permit. I think it's our annual net permit, right, Sarah? Discharge permits.
sounds right. Let me get to it. Yes,
That's all I would have tonight.
Okay, if there's no other questions, entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
Make the motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion and seconded.
was that,
Emily.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Any further discussion? Otherwise, whenever you're ready, Sarah.
Campbell,
Yes.
Eschenbacher,
Yep.
Hall,
Yes.
Jones Hollibuck,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Botchke,
Yes.
Mayor Green.
Yes, motion carried. Moving on to the regular agenda, action items. Set 2021 council meeting schedule. I didn't see any conflicts. Did you, Sarah?
Nope, just July and September, both of those first meetings will be on the first Tuesday of the month, just because of the holidays, 4th of July and Labor Day.
Which is what we've always done.
Yeah,
There's no questions. Entertain a motion.
I'll motion to approve the schedule as listed.
I'll second it.
Second.
Go ahead.
The motion and support. Any further discussion? Okay, Sarah.
Eschenbacher,
Yeah.
Hall,
Yes.
Jones Hollibuck,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Botchke,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Mayor Green.
Yes, motion carried. Number 2, set financial committee meeting of the whole for the audit.
Yes,
How long do you think it'll take?
Jamie asked to do it at 7 PM on Monday, December 21st.
Is a half hour enough for her?
That's why I asked her and she said that's fine.
You know, if that's what she wants, I guess I'm okay with that. I mean, it's her show.
Yes,
Right.
so 7 o'clock on the 21st before our next council meeting.
Yep.
Okay, that's done. Number 3, first quarterly financial report. Bob?
Yep. Tonight we had a financial meeting, and we have brought to the board the first quarter financials from Sarah, and we are making our motion to accept the first quarter financial report to the whole committee, to the whole board.
Is there support?
Support.
We got motion and support. Any further discussion?
Sarah, I just had a couple of questions that I didn't find until after we were done with the meeting.
Okay.
I know that all of the funds are in really good shape, so that's good. And I'm, we're good to go. But just a couple that I found that I'm kind of curious about.
Mhm.
The part-time wages under the DPW fund are at 156% already, and we're only in the first quarter.
Which that's understandable. I mean, they are higher than they were budgeted, but we aren't gonna use him again until probably June of next year. So most of his wages were done in this year.
That's our summer help, right?
Yeah, that's for our summer help. Mhm. And
Okay.
wages are hard. It's hard to predict really wages because you never know where you need to put someone to work or if a problem encounters,
Not the seasonal, the part-time. So,
yeah, the part-time is our only, he's our seasonal.
okay, because there's a different line item for seasonal. So that's why I'm confused.
You're looking at DPW
Yep.
in the general fund?
No, under the DPW section.
DDA maybe?
Nope.
Because we only have seasonals in DDA and then we have a part-time seasonal for DPW, and that would be in the general fund under,
Well, it was way back in the back. So,
do you have the line item next, like on your computer?
that's the one that I forgot to write down, of
Okay.
course. Okay, we can skip that one. I just, but I did have another one.
Yep.
And this one I do have a line item for because I wrote it down. Equipment rental in the sewer fund,
Higher than
it's at 105% already in the first quarter.
yep.
Is that something that we need to be concerned about still?
I checked into that. Again, it's hard to budget for where problems are gonna go and where you have to stick people. So I checked into that because it caught my eye too. And I guess there was some problems back in August they had to jet a few sewers. So they spent a bunch of time jetting sewers, and the equipment that they used, I mean, that's what that caused it to be increased so much.
Or
Okay.
was that also for Brinkman on that, was it Joy Street? Or that's different?
That was something separate.
Is that something we're gonna have to continue to watch going into the winter and like Don's always harping about stuff getting shoved into the sewers and
Yes.
so I'm just, if it's already at 105% after the first quarter, and here we are going into almost the end of the second quarter, should we be looking for budget amendments for that, or?
Yeah, that it'll be one of those that gets budget encompasses our overall budget amendments at the end of the year.
Okay.
What kind of dollar amount are we talking there, Patricia?
It was what, 14,000?
14,000, okay.
Or
So far it's at 40.
I
Right,
was
so
wondering,
far
was
it's
it
at
30 or
14.
40,000, 14,000, okay.
No, so far it's at 14. But I don't know what it'll end up being. That's why if it's already at 100%, what's it gonna be at by the end of the fourth quarter?
Let's hope it's not any more than what we already got spent.
Right, so that's why I was asking. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Okay, Sarah, whenever you're ready.
Paul,
Yes.
Jones Hollaback,
Yes,
White,
Yes.
Botchke,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Eschenbacher,
Yep.
Mayor Green.
Yes, motion carried. Number 4, resignation of zoning board of appeals member, Gary King.
Um, right. Sarah, can we send Mr. King something to thank him for his time
Absolutely.
and that? And
Do we
Yep.
know what happened with his first resignation letter?
I think we've seen that once. I just don't think we ever did anything with it.
I hadn't seen it. That's why I had contacted him and just made sure that he was still involved or
Actually,
not. And he said that he sent me a new letter, so that's what this is.
okay. I just was kind of curious as to what, because that seemed to be kind of
Yeah, we knew it was happening, but we,
a harsh
Oh, but then.
statement in his letter.
He had
Has to
told
stay
us
on
he was going to
until-
resign, but he was sticking around until we got a new person. I don't recall seeing one. Perhaps it came through and we missed it, but that was the kind of the arrangement. He was going to stay on, so we had a quorum in case something happened. But we
Okay.
finally needed somebody else.
yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I agree with Bob that we need to give him at least a letter or some form of
Yeah,
recognition.
And I hate to, do this, but anyway, with regrets that he's leaving. So
Well, is that your motion?
that's my motion to accept this letter of resignation and give him something for a letter, something thanking him for his services.
Support.
Because he's been on for a long.
He's been there a long time. I know that.
Yes. And our other one, we lost just the other year because they moved out of town and stuff. Any other discussion? We still have a vacancy and alternates on there too to find people. Okay, Sarah?
Jones Hollibuck,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Botchke,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Eschenbacher,
Yep.
Paul,
Yes.
Mayor Green.
Yes, motion carried. Okay, committee liaisons report, zoning board of appeals. Everybody saw that letter. You want to add the minutes? You want to add anything, Matt?
The most recently, the zoning board of appeals approved a variance request from Captain Properties LLC for setback variances for a communications tower in a parcel that is next to the fire department training tower in the park. I think it was a variance to the residential area and also to the
Little Caesars.
Little Caesars and the R2 residential zoning area. So, which the park is zoned as. They granted that variance under the condition that they receive written evidence that they've tried to go in with another company on their tower. So there's another tower in the park, and also we have communications antennas on the water tower. So they were looking for some kind of proof that they tried to exhaust those possibilities first. And the next step is for them to go to the Planning Commission for a special condition use permit, and then it will come to the council for final approval.
And what is this tower going to be used for, Matt?
It's a cell phone tower.
Cell phone tower?
159 feet or something?
Yeah, that's what it said, 159 feet, I believe.
Yeah. It's 159 feet, and it's one of the towers that doesn't have like guide wires. It's just a one straight pole up with a fence around it.
That's same as that other one in the back at the corner by the sugar beet piling. But then there would be a mini building with the electronics and stuff stationed on the ground.
And that will be in the area by where our playground equipment is and our splash pad and our shuffleboard court and all of our stuff
Oh.
for kids?
over by the
Or they're in
basketball,
front of it, right?
the basketball court.
Yeah, just to the left after you pass Little Caesars, right before that driveway that goes back by Taco Bell.
So by the firefighter training station.
Yes,
Mhm.
just in front of it if you're coming in from 81.
Would it prevent the firefighters from training?
No.
It's a separate piece of property that the city doesn't own. It's a triangle shaped piece of property there.
Mhm.
Is that the one that we had first right of refusal on a couple years ago, Sarah?
Not that, I don't think so, no.
There's not enough cell phone towers in this town now?
Well,
I
I'm just
don't know.
questioning if it goes with
Come
the
on,
visual that we
Bob.
have for that area.
Well, it's really not, it's over by Little Caesars, closer to Little Caesars than it is to us, but it's still a
Basketball
200-foot
courts
tower.
Basketball courts are in the background of it.
Right.
200-foot tower with a building around it.
Yeah, actually
The building's probably about a 10 by 10 shed is what the building will be.
Okay.
yeah, the basketball courts are actually within the fall zone.
Mm-hmm.
So
And Pizza
is-
Hut would be, there's a lot of things depending on which way the wind would be blowing and, you know, which way it would fall, but I guess, I don't know, I guess we'll have to see when it comes or when that time comes.
Let's hope
If-
they can find a tower that they can join to.
Well, the other tower down by the sugar beet factory, I don't know if they can put anything more up there anymore. I mean, that thing is just full of everything up there.
Covered. But that was part of the condition, right? That the planning,
Yes.
or
Yeah,
the,
the
sorry,
zoning
that the
board wanted
zoning
that.
board is
Yeah.
that they have to, before they can do it, they have to have written,
Permission to make sure that there's no place else to go.
right?
Right.
yeah, so when they present to the planning commission, they'll have to have some kind of evidence that they tried and failed to go on with someone else.
Right. So they'll have to have, they'll have to have written communication from all those other companies on the existing tower saying, no, you cannot come on.
I believe.
But
Yep.
the city's one of them. The city's one of them.
Yeah, the water
So-
tower. So hopefully they'll contact us and say if we have room.
Do we?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look and
I
see.
wouldn't think if they're looking for a 200-foot tower that the water tower will be tall enough for them.
It's kind of on a hill though.
Yeah, but it's kind of short of 200 foot.
No, but the water tower is a lot higher than that spot down at the fairgrounds.
It is. I'll give you that. It is higher up, but it's still a whole lot shorter than 200 foot.
And don't we have existing contracts on there already?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So they would have to get permission from all those also.
Mhm.
But,
See,
okay,
the odds are they plan to put it up and then lease it to whoever. That's my understanding. Okay. Any more on that? Okay, Jill?
Last week, the subcommittee of Parks and Rec met, the splash pad subcommittee met. And we've all been to the cement and we've all walked the cement and we've all analyzed the cement. And I noticed today we got an update from Matt about the cement and the fact that Matt and Mayor and Dale Rick met at the splash pad and looked at the concrete. And, you know, Dale gave his opinion, and if it can make it until spring without popping, then we're in better shape than we think we're in. But the recommendation of the splash pad committee of the Parks and Rec was the only thing that's gonna make them happy is rip it out and start over. And so I said that I would present to you that that's what their request is. We understand that it's gonna be a costly project. That's probably why they have insurance for projects that go bad, just like this one did. As I read your update, Matt, it was saying that removing this cement and replacing it, or grinding the existing cement and putting a coat of whatever on it was also an option, both of which are going to be expensive. So as long as they're both going to be expensive, the committee would like to have the concrete replaced. There's a couple of, I'm going to call them boots just because I don't know what else to call them, but they're boots on the equipment that don't go down all the way to the level of the cement. There's a gap between the cement and the boot on the equipment, which is it's just a hazard for small children to catch their toe under or whatever. And it would appear that the reason that gap is there is because the cement's too low. So I think that as we look at that, there are more problems than just the smoothness of the cement. It appears that maybe there are some variations in depth that are causing some problems as well. So, like I say, they met last Wednesday. I was at the meeting. I told them that I would tell you what they would like to have done. And so that's what I'm doing. The committee pointed out that the city of Caro, the residents of Caro have waited a long time for this splash pad, and to present the residents with something that's inferior just isn't fair. So that was their comments on that. On a side note, Sean mentioned that he didn't realize that a motion needed to have been made at the last Parks and Recreation meeting so that you could go ahead and look at the actual purchase of the toys for the dog park, Matt. And he said, had I known that, I would have done what I needed to do to make that motion to get it so that you could go forward with what you need to do. So I think we're probably too late to do that, but he's apologizing for us not knowing what we were supposed to have done to free you up to do what you needed to do and want to do. So I think that's in the works for the next meeting, if nothing can come of it before that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, are there any other questions for Jill? Okay, we move on to mayor's report. I'm just going to add to that. I viewed the splash pad in Alpena, and that cement job's a lot better. It has a couple of ridges in it, but there's no bad spots. Then I also reviewed the splash pad in Beaverton. It's about a 4x4 area where it seems like it's set up too fast or something, and it's starting to flake off on that one, on a 4-foot square area. Okay, then over the last, I had a sit-down meeting with the Indian Fields Township. We went over, got a new supervisor, and we sat and talked for about an hour and a half. And I also met with a businessman who's remodeling a building in town, and he was just showing me through it. And this other deal, should we do something for Christmas? What I'm talking about here is, I'm not sure if the fire department is talking about, like other years, they have Santa come into town on the fire truck and stuff. I know where my daughter is in Maryland, they had basically the fire truck and police car and stuff drive up and down every street with Santa on it, you know, just waving and saying hi, you know, if we should think about doing something like that for this Christmas, since we're not having a lot of the other stuff, I don't know if we get together to fire department, Santa. Stuff, what do you guys think of that?
I think it's a great idea. I mean, like, can we have Matt ask the chief if his guys will do something like that?
Or arrange it somehow, you know, that's.
Yeah, you know, get it somehow set up, you know?
I'm thinking it'd be a little much to hit every street in one night. You might have to divide it in sections. Maybe,
Well,
you know.
I think if you went down some of the major streets, Don, and stuff like that, if they see the lights flashing, people look.
True.
You know that they'll look. I mean, if they go
Yeah.
down some of the major streets, people will look. They'll see it.
Right.
Basically, the partner projects and stuff like that, you know.
I think we should.
Kids and stuff, you know.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
what's not a big ticket item to put on, you know.
no.
Just a
No.
little bit of fuel money.
But, you know, just fuel and, you know, this
Right.
place, they had the police car in front and the fire truck. They had the ambulance going behind, you know. They had a lot of flashlights and sirens going.
Yeah.
How
See,
long would it be before Almer, Ellington, Indian Fields, and the others that are part of our fire department want their fire trucks that they pay for to go driving through theirs?
They only pay for runs, right?
Yeah, they pay,
Yeah.
yeah. They only contract with the city.
Right.
They pay for the fire trucks, they pay for the runs, I mean, that's all part of their bill,
Yeah, it is. But
is paying for the fire trucks.
you know,
See.
if we could tell somebody that this is going to go down Main Street at 6 o'clock, and everybody's more than welcome with social distancing and masks and stuff like that. You know, it's going to be there for 2 minutes. It's going to be gone, and everybody's going to be gone. You know, so I don't think we're breaking any rules by chance. I think it's a good idea for everybody, and I think we should advertise it to everybody.
Yeah, we have to advertise it and pick a date and time
Right.
and do it.
And they are outside, so.
Yeah, and if you social distance and do your mask and things like that, you know, those people from Wells Township and all those places want to come to town and see it, go down Main Street, they're more than welcome, because they're only going to be there probably 2 minutes. It's going to be long gone past them, and they're going to be going for home.
Yeah, I see some other places or townships around Saginaw and stuff are doing something similar to that too. Having Santa drive through one airport even did
I
it.
guess, can we ask our city manager to set that maybe up with our fire chief and our police chief
We can work on that, yeah.
and work on it?
Yeah,
I mean, because Christmas is coming quickly, so.
it has to happen in the next week or so.
Yeah, I could talk to him about it. I just sent Randy a text to see if they have any plans to do it. Those firefighters, they come up with stuff all the time, so they may have something in the works already.
See, always before it was at the gingerbread festival and the tree
Right.
lighting there, they brought Santa in on the fire truck and did the tree lighting and
The Chamber of Commerce
Yes.
is talking about trying to keep some of those traditions, so they may be planning something already. So
yeah.
I'll connect some people together and see if that's not something already in the works, and if not,
Yeah.
I'll make the suggestion that we do it.
We do it, okay. That's about all I had, and then we had that situation with stuff on Facebook with the city and businesses. We hope we got that straightened out good.
What's this then?
What happened?
There was a post on Facebook where really putting some businesses against businesses, basically telling people not to go in businesses because they weren't using their mask and stuff. And people are spying on people, but then we were spreading this, not, you know.
I got some comments. I don't know about anybody else, but I got comments at my
I
job.
got a bunch of phone calls from a lot of business people and stuff, you know.
I
So,
got people coming into my store asking me if it was about us.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we
I
have
think-
signs. We have signs on our door about wearing masks. We have signs on our door about the number of people that
So's
can be in our
the,
store, but people
so's
still
the
ask.
businesses they were talking about. They have signs too. But they weren't enforcing them. I know who they were talking about,
But then some of their employees were, but
right?
some of their employees are working by themselves too, but not with people too. So,
Right.
but it was cutting some businesses down good, and saying, taking my business elsewhere to Sandusky and stuff.
What
So,
happened to be responsible for yourself and be kind?
Yes.
Oh, the be kind went out the window in March when this
Yeah.
started.
No kidding.
That went out the window in March.
No kidding.
I never seen it on Facebook myself.
I didn't either.
I didn't
I
either.
didn't either.
It was
I
on
heard
the,
about it.
it was
I
on the
saw it.
Chiefs. It was on the Chiefs page.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay.
It was on CPD's page, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
I had to talk with the chief about it. He's just gonna post links to information instead of copy and pasting the press releases from the health department.
See, that was the problem. It came up as ours, versus.
Yeah, and I think in that particular press release, the health department did some editorializing they probably shouldn't have, and
They have been all along.
it kind of
It's
got
part of the
attributed
problem.
to us. So the chief and I have an understanding now.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Good. Good.
Okay, that's all I have. Okay, Matt?
Yeah, as you see from my report, I've been busy.
Mhm.
I also met with Supervisor Campbell over at Indian Fields Township. Had a pretty good, productive conversation with him as well. Just talked about our annexation proposal, and then just kind of generally discussed how to facilitate a better relationship. So it was a pretty good conversation. The sidewalk project, some of the additional items that we added on at the end there, AJ Remus was not able to get to. So that's going to be on hold until it gets warmer in the spring. Then they'll finish that up, and then we'll be finished with this year's project. We did get some of the priority areas. So near the dentist's office, that was a main area of concern. And then in front of the Burnside, it's like
Apartments?
a care facility. Yeah. Yep. The apartments there. We got those taken care of because those were the main concerns. So those priority ones were finished. And then some of the other additional ones were put on hold because of the temperature. If you've seen the police edition lately, it's looking really good. The inside is completely framed up. The electricians were in there last week getting everything together. They're going to be doing drywall this week. And then the next couple of weeks, they're going to be starting the exterior brick, the Nova brick. They're going to be putting that up. So it's going to start looking like a complete addition here pretty soon. So keep your eye open for that. I'm sure if you've seen the police department, you've seen the farmers market. That building is going up, and it looks incredible. It is there. I wasn't there today, so I don't know how far they got on the roof. But on Friday, they had a lot of the roof trusses up, and they were moving forward pretty quick. So
It's sheeted.
is it?
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. So keep an eye on that. They're going to be finished with the roof and all that stuff. And then the last little pieces of the paving and the landscaping will be in the spring as well. You guys had a pretty good update on the splash pad. We're still working on that issue. I broke out the contract with Vortex, and they do have a 1 year limited warranty on concrete work. So I'm going to be trying to get that in motion to try to figure out what they can do and move them towards, fixing it for us. We did talk to Dale Rick, and I also talked to AJ Remus about the concrete. And as I mentioned, they're a little more optimistic than we are about it, but the overall consensus is that we should be holding money back for as long as we can until we know what is going to happen. So we'll most likely hold that 100 and I think it was 109 or 105,000 until spring when we kind of figure out what's going on with it. So we won't be paying them probably anytime soon, at least not all of it. So and we'll obviously have updates at probably every meeting until it's fixed. So that's that. The Roadhouse Museum, there's some updates on that. We got quotes to fix the siding. That's going to wait until the spring just because the weather's turning. But the museum group is ready to talk about signing a lease, even with that outstanding. So we're going to be working on building up a lease and then getting that for approval here pretty quick. There's only 3 items left: the stairs to the basement, the crawl space, the ballast or the banister and the railing, which we're working with the museum on because they wanted to do some work to it, and then the siding. So we're pretty much there, and I got an email back and they're happy with the progress. They're happy with how we've been working with them, and they're ready to move forward on the lease agreement. So we're going to start that process here pretty soon. Let's see, anything else? That's it. There's nothing else that stands out. My written report is there for you guys. Oh, I did hear from the owners of the Madison Street property that's right behind City Hall. They're going to get they are going to, where'd it go? They're going to get an appraisal on the house, and then they'll let us know, and I'll bring it back to council so you can see what you want to do with it.
The only thing I had is that, was it over at the farmer's market that they're building on the side? I had a question if somebody can hang the buck on it. Is that going to be our deer pole?
We can set up Jesus manger and it looks.
Yeah, but somebody said I had to hang my deer on that. It's going to be a deer pole, buck pole in the fall.
Yeah. While you're waiting for the bus.
Okay, Sarah.
All right. Been working on completing that first quarter financial report. That's done with now. Taxes are balanced for November. Winter taxes were mailed out on December 1st. Utility bills were also mailed out on December 1st. I've been researching the best way to update our website. I want to encourage you all to look at a few different municipalities' website and compare it to ours. I'm not sure. I would like to bring it to you guys fairly soon, but I'm not sure if it's something we should wait to just budget for. It's looking to be cost between $8,000 to $10,000 for initial investment from a few places that I've looked at so far. So I've just been trying to see what's the cheapest, best approach for us. I would like us to have a more user-friendly website so that, citizens can just go to it and they can find what they need compared to what we have now. There's going to be a board of review meeting on December 15th at 9 a.m. That's going to be on Zoom. We've not done a board of review meeting on Zoom before, so that'll be interesting to see how that goes. I want to encourage you guys all. There's only 2 options left for the MML newly elected officials classes. They're December 9th and December 16th. And then there's another option to do it in January 23rd. So if any of you guys are interested in that, please let me know and I will get you signed up for it. Lastly, I'm going to be off. I'm not going to be here at the next meeting. Alexis will be in my place. Taking a few vacation days.
No way, Sarah.
I know.
Oh my gosh, she gets vacation?
Yep. Gotta use them before I lose them.
Sarah's gonna take her days.
Sarah,
Oh
not right,
my
Sarah.
God.
Sarah,
I was just gonna say,
I recommend you check with the EDC and talk with Jim because they just hired somebody new to do their
Okay.
site.
I'll do that.
Be a point of reference to check with theirs and go and look at their site too.
Yeah.
Matt, have you heard about a manager yet for the farmer's market? Have they found anybody?
We haven't found anybody yet. I'm going through the applications right now, putting everything together. The DDA has a subcommittee put together to do the interviews and review the application. So I'm just kind of weeding through them now, and I'll put together a little thing for the DDA, and they'll take a look at it. And at some point, hopefully, we'll have a candidate, and I'll let you guys know who it is.
Cool.
How many did you get, Matt?
Less than a dozen.
Oh, goodness.
Okay.
I strategically put the position description together so that they had to follow particular instructions. So if they didn't actually physically send me a resume and cover letter, they didn't make the cut because that was a specific requirement. So I was trying to weed out people who don't know how to follow directions.
Did you hear from the one in Port Austin?
I don't think so. I don't think we did. No.
Don, why don't you just take the job?
Oh,
You
no, can't do that.
got nothing to do all day.
It's a
Drink
part-time
coffee.
job.
Gotta have somebody experienced.
Your experience.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, for a part-time position, it's pretty involved. There's a lot of state.
I think we don't have a clue how involved it is and how important it is.
Very important.
It's important. We've got one chance for a first impression on that.
We got a
whole-
top-notch building. We need a top-notch manager.
Absolutely.
And with that in mind, I think if we don't find the person within the first round, we'll probably go out again and try to find the right person. I don't think.
Right.
Perfect.
No.
I think that's perfect.
Yeah, don't get desperate and just hire somebody because we have to have them.
Okay, are there any other questions for Matt or Sarah?
Sarah, circling back to the website, I remember prior to my election, I had spoke with Councilmember Eschenbacher about some things that I'd like to see on the website, looking at other municipalities. They have stuff like they show all of the property that's owned by the city that's available for purchase. They show things like, zoning regulations and where you have to go to get inspections and all of the different steps you have to follow if you want to bring a new business to town or if you want to purchase lot for, so like those are definitely some things that I'd like to see on a website.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and a lot of those are best practices that we need to keep in line with our redevelopment ready communities process that we're kind of in the middle of. So all that stuff is important to us as well. So that's why we want to make sure that we do it right. And in the last 5 years, there's actually a lot of ADA requirements for websites that you have to keep track of.
Yep.
For folks that are hard of hearing or seeing, they have to be able to access the website just like anybody else. So that's another consideration that we have to take into account.
Mhm.
Okay, I got a question for Matt or Mike Carpenter. Is everything moving forward on the pipeline?
Yes, I mean, I can answer. Matter of fact, we are about ready to submit for permits from MDOT and from Eagle and Road Commission and whatnot. And then hopefully, Matt, we can set up a meeting at 10 o'clock tomorrow and do our last review with DDA and fire chief on fire hydrant spacings and whatnot. So we just need to, we got all the easements out, waiting to get them signed and get them back in, except the Caro Center. The state is supposed to get a hold of me and work with me on that, but that's something that will hold up a permit because the Eagle permit will require all of the easements be in hand before we get a permit. But yeah, we're barring any review issues at this point, we're sitting pretty good. So
Mike, where's that going to be crossing 81 at? I know they're going to bore under, but whereabouts?
it'll be the westerly side of Chambers Road. If you drive out there, you'll see there's a sign that goes to the airport, or maybe it's Cappen's sign. I'm not sure.
So coming down 81, it's going to stay on the one side all the way.
Yeah, we're going to stay on the northerly side of 81 the entire route, turn and go on the westerly side of Sheridan, and until we connect into their
Gotcha.
to where they leave their main. So that's one of the things we're still working out with the state is where they're stopping and where we're starting. There's some discrepancy on where the existing stuff is out there. The Caro Center in general is having issues not knowing where their stuff's at, and they keep running into, I think they're on their second water main break out there just because they didn't know where it was at. So they're working through that now.
They actually called us looking for maps a couple weeks ago, and we're like, sorry, we don't have them. You're gonna have to find them yourself.
Wow.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Moving on, are there any additional public comments from anybody?
I have a question. Just so if, I guess kind of a procedural question, if one of us had something that we wanted to bring to the council for discussion, is this where that would be appropriate?
Yes.
Okay, just curious. Are we going to, I know that the topic of recreational marijuana has been weighed on by the council already. Are we going to make any move to address the letter from the Heisers?
Okay, this is what I'm thinking. As soon as, I don't know, I talked to Matt about it, we should have a planning meeting or a get together to talk about all these things among ourselves, not a council meeting, but a planning commission. Well, a workshop, to do a workshop this month and first part of next month and start doing a workshop about all these topics. I know that came up to me too about recreational. See, the last time the vote was for Caro was recreational passed in Caro.
Yep.
And then we started with the marijuana, the medical, and to see how that would go, if it would cause any problems. And now might be a time to talk about recreational. You know, but that's what I was thinking, and talk to Matt about doing a workshop, not just on this, about on anything else too, on projects and parks and roads and or sort of start thinking towards our budget process for the following year too. It's a starting point.
Are you thinking like a strategic planning, goal setting session? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, something like that, workshop like that, yes. What do everybody think about that? We have to get together outside of a meeting, really, but it's a meeting. It'd be advertised since we're all there, but we won't be making any decisions at it. We'll just be putting together goals and ideas and stuff like that.
Don't we usually do that closer to budget?
Okay, see then, no, but then the budget will be coming later on.
I think it's.
Can we do it when we can meet in person?
When's that gonna be?
Yeah, but when?
I
First of the
know. You think it won't be until the first of the year?
I think it's gonna be March or April.
She just extended it 12 more days.
Well, and when she extended it, she said, it may be a few more months.
Or later,
Yeah,
Yep.
or more.
I'm saying it's gonna be March, April.
And
May.
said she doesn't want you to travel to see your family, so.
people are traveling.
Well, she's planning the inauguration, so, and
Yeah.
all those parties, I don't know.
Yeah.
But we do have a hand for public comment.
Yes, Mr. Charity.
Yes. Okay. Public comment, who's
Herb?
Herb?
You're muted.
We can't hear you, Herb.
Okay, he's muted. It's not gonna work.
Any other public comment? Anybody else?
I just wanted to update you guys on the sewer issue over at Walmart.
Oh, yeah.
there was a sewer break behind Walmart near the loading dock. The DPW opened up the parking lot there, and they were able to get it was actually like shattered. So they replaced the section, and they actually should be finished by now. Jeff sent me some photos of it. They had it all ready to go just before the meeting, but they were waiting to backfill and get everything fixed back where it should be.
Okay, thank you, Matt.
Joe, I have something. You said you met with a businessman redoing one of the buildings downtown. Are we getting another business coming in?
No, he's
No.
he's making storage units. It's the old Midwest Rotary building where Napa is and that building.
Oh, okay.
He showed me what he was doing on that.
Grossback.
Yeah, Grossback, yes.
Gotcha.
He's dividing that into pods or whatever in the back.
Yeah, that's old news.
But you said if you know of anybody that wants to store stuff, big stuff.
My camper's there and my car's there.
Yeah.
I have something if nobody else does. On Friday, and Matt knows this because I sent him pictures, but on Friday, we did Stuff the Blue Goose with Walmart and Team One
Yes.
Credit Union and Christmas for Kids. I've been a part of Christmas for Kids since it started, and we collected over $5,000 in cash donations. And we did stuff not only the Blue Goose, but the Blue Goose once and a half over and a Caro, the Caro Police Department vehicle.
That's awesome.
And Team One too.
And we stuffed a state police car at Team One Credit Union.
Yes.
We have made our goal 1.5 times over for all of the kids that have signed up and all of the families that signed up for Christmas for Kids this year.
Oh,
And
wow.
they will receive the difference between Christmas for Kids and other organizations that do toys and stuff for Christmas is that we don't just do toys. We do a full Christmas. We do not just one toy, but we do a handful of toys for each kid. And then on top of that, we do like a Christmas week full of food. And we also do personal hygiene products, dish soap, laundry soap, like bath soap for each family. So we provide that all together with their Christmas toys. So we've reached our full goal for this year early, which is something we've never done before. Usually we're scrambling at the last minute to make up the difference. And this year we've reached it early. And we saw a bunch of Christmas miracles on Friday. So I just want to say thank you to the Caro community and to the people of Tuscola County for helping us make that a huge success this year.
Add to that, this weekend normally this weekend is when a bunch of pilots fly in gifts. Basically, they fly them in where they volunteer to fly gifts in for the foster kids of this county. But since there's all this COVID, they didn't want everybody handling the gifts, so they basically just trucked them all in. Just to make sure all the foster kids in the county have gifts. Before
That's
other
really cool.
years in these small planes, they'd be pulling out gifts, bicycles and everything, you know. But that took place on a different note this past weekend by trucking everything in.
That's cool. But we wanted to make sure that people knew that Christmas is not canceled in Tuscola County, and that if they still need help, they can sign up at Thrift for Gifts in Reese. We're still accepting signups because we know that people have been affected by COVID, and that like even people that have normally given donations and have normally supported families are actually asking us for help this year. because of the COVID situation. So we're still accepting signups and we're still helping people. So,
Okay, thank you. Herb, did you get back on or not?
Still muted.
Okay. Any others? If not, entertain a motion.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll support.
Okay, Sarah?
White,
Yes.
Botchke,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Eschenbacher,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Jones Hollaback,
yes.
Mayor Green.
Yes, motion carried. Thank you, everybody.
Good night, folks.
Have
Good
a good
night.
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 Right.